Well, this one took more thought than usual. I could impress you with the millions of dollars these paintings sell for, but that's not really the point of this channel. How is this a work of art? It's certainly not representational art, at least not in the sense of depicting objects in the physical world. I mean, is it a mood? If it's a mood, what sort? I suppose you could call this one a mood. We tend to associate cooler, bluer colours with sadness, literally the blues. Rothko was influenced by Mondrian, perhaps. See my video, link in the description. Surrealism too. Mark Rothko lived from 1903 to 1970. The Latvian artist is best known for paintings like the one we're considering, described as colour-filled paintings and sitting within the abstract impressionist movement. You can look at his paintings and find yourself either trying to understand or just giving up and shaking your head at modern art. Is it for real, or does the emperor have no clothes? I mean, what is this? It's not an object? Is it just a feeling? But who's to say Rothko was trying to paint a feeling? By this time in 1949, he had even given up giving his paintings a title, lest it unduly influence the viewer. The idea of his paintings representing mythic archetypes has currency, but which myths, and how would we know except for reading his writings? And surely art must be able to stand on its own. He thought so. With fellow artist Adolf Gottlieb, he issued a manifesto declaring, "We favour the simple expression of the complex thought. We are for the large shape because it has the impact of the unequivocal. We wish to assert the picture plane. We are for flat forms because they destroy illusion and reveal truth." This certainly explains his intention. Did he achieve it? Well, sales and renown come from somewhere, a recognition from which he benefited, but about which he was ambivalent, believing that he remained largely misunderstood. We can look at earlier Rothkos and experience more obviously what is being represented, both in the title and in the painting itself. Already, though, we see his gravitation towards large slabs of colour. Unless you have painted yourself, you might not realise that many paintings have more than 50% of their surface area with big slabs of colour. Depending upon your style, you might fill that slab with various painterly textures to represent some feeling of the landscape or object's texture within the physical world. For example, in a portrait, your eyes go to the face, which is what draws us in. But that's often only 5 or 10% of the canvas. The rest is often slabs of colour. For example, this Sargent has great planes of admittedly textured colour, the dress, the wall, and so on. Here in Rothko's Entrance to Subway from 1938, we have a big chunk of violet, slabs of dark blue, slabs of yellow and pink. The subject of the painting, the light blue railing and the figure going down the stairs, the figures waiting at the turnstile, are relatively small and are themselves just slabs of colour when we look closely. Our eyes are doing what we always do with abstracted renditions, piecing together the picture, in spite of how abstractedly it has been rendered. In Rothko's slow swirl at the edge of the sea, we have fully abstracted shapes, maybe influenced by Kandinsky, or maybe influenced by the Surrealists. It's as if by now, in 1944, he wanted to abandon representing physical reality altogether and wanted to express something deeper. Yes, we still have a title in this instance, and it leads us in some way to attempt to attach the ideas of swirling and the edge of the sea to the painting. If there had been no title, I'm not sure we would have got there on our own. As I noted earlier, he gave up on titles for this reason. It was up to us to find meaning in his paintings. And it seems he was regularly frustrated how his work was treated, saying that his work must insult anyone who is spiritually attuned to interior decoration. Ouch. Moving further away from representing physical reality, we get here, colours and shapes. What are we seeing here? Is it a distant doorway opening to a lighter space through a long corridor? I don't know. I'm trying to impose physics onto something that may be a mood, maybe a feeling, maybe a mythic archetype, Maybe, and that's the point. We don't know. Nor should we give up at this point, but allow the artwork to speak to us. No one is pretending this kind of art isn't hard work. And those that can take a glance and immediately go on spouting about the inner reaches of the soul transcending the mythic plane are probably fooling themselves, or at least trying to fool us. As Rothko progressed, he moved away from even shapes, lest in our struggle to create physical meaning, we would stretch our thinking enough to create objects and miss the point of his painting. Instead, just settling on colour. It's called number 61. And informally titled, not by Rothko, Rust and Blue, because, well, it's comprised of a rusty red and two blues, one light, one darker and more desaturated. But there's not really any shapes at all, just bands of colour, rendered in a painterly way. No title, no objects, no obvious meaning. If you think it's meaningless though, the artist would disagree with you. He felt that if you put in the time you would see. A picture lives by companionship, he said, expanding and quickening in the eyes of the sensitive observer. He wanted us to find meaning. Deep stuff. Art like this is hard. It gives us little to make us stop and spend time with it, other than its impressive size. We either dismiss it altogether or have to force ourselves to spend time looking at it. And here's the helpfully titled Untitled, with the informal name of Blue divided by Blue. Now we barely have colour differentiations. It's as if Rothko's journey of painting anything, even different colours, is being swallowed up. Now the colour is going. Black and dark grey. You decide what it is. Finally, we get to here. I hope you can pick up what's going on here. The desaturated brown-violet background plays host to 3 slabs of blackness. That's it. The question for many is, why bother? Maybe he'd given up, not sure. The cynic sees it as a con. But if it is that, it certainly wasn't for financial gain. Rothko turned down many opportunities for the sake of staying true to his art. Like all of us, he's wanting to be understood, to communicate to us, to use art to transcend the literal and point us towards a greater world. A world that can't be expressed in words, a world that may not be that decorative in our living rooms, but is nevertheless part of our conscious or even unconscious experience. If, as Picasso said, the purpose of art is to wash the daily dust off our souls, what is the purpose of Rothko's art? Only you can answer that. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please press like. If you want to be notified when I put out more reactions to great art, please subscribe. See you next time.